Let's predict round 10 of the EFL Championship with some huge fixtures heading our way this weekend, with a big game on Friday night with Middlesbrough taking on Ipswich Town. We then go on to the early Saturday morning fixtures with Oxford hosting Derby, QPR hosting Millwall and Southampton hosting Swansea City. We then go to the 3 p.m s with Hull City, Sheffield Wednesday, Blackburn Rovers, Bristol City, Watford, Wrexham and Preston all travelling to their counterparts in Birmingham City, Charlton Athletic, Coventry City, Norwich City, Sheffield United and Stoke City, as well as West Bromwich Albion, with this round being rounded off by Leicester City hosting Pompey at 7:45. Now let me know your predictions down into the comments. We're going to go into each game one by one in this video, so if you haven't done so already, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll catch you in the predictions. Now, Middlesbrough versus Ipswich is a very, very big game for me, and it's a game which I believe needs to be massively discussed. Now, do I believe that Ipswich have had the best start to the season? Absolutely not. But do I believe that it is going to come to them over the course of the next few weeks? I absolutely do. Now, obviously, you can let me know your thoughts on these predictions down in the comments, because I understand everybody will have their own opinions and things like that, and that is completely fine. But for me, I am going with an away victory. Ipswich securing another win, going 3-2 at home, well, 3-2 away from home against Middlesbrough, with Middlesbrough falling a little bit away at the top of the table. Obviously, there's lots of different reasons why this could happen, but I just think at some point it's going to click for Ipswich, and all of a sudden they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. I think for Borough, they've had a really good start to the season. I think they're very much going to be in this game, but we're going to have to wait and see how it progresses. Now, you may notice, or you may not, but I am a Derby County fan. Now, Derby County Oxford is a huge game for Derby County. It's a massive game for John Eustace. If you checked out my video the other day, you will have seen that Derby County have been a little bit poor to start off this campaign, and I've wanted to discuss it. I've discussed it on my own channel. I've discussed it on this channel now as well. But I think it's going to click. And I think Derby County are going to beat Oxford United 3-0. Who's going to score? I don't know. How it's going to happen? I don't know. But I've just got a feeling that Derby County are going to beat Oxford on Saturday morning. And you can obviously let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. If you're an Oxford fan, if you're a Derby fan, what do you believe? We've then got QPR versus Millwall, which I think is a huge game. It's another 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. But I think this one is going to end in a draw. I think it's going to be a score draw. I think both teams have had okay starts to the campaign. If we go and look at the league table, QPR find themselves in 6th. Millwall find themselves in 8th. And I think you can't really talk down on them. I think it's been a very, very good start to the season for both teams. And I think they're just finding each other probably at the perfect time in terms of a result. And I think they're going to end up with a 1-1 draw. Now, the final 12:30 kickoff sees Southampton host Swansea City. Now, I don't think Southampton have been that great this season. And I think when they faced Derby County just before the international break, I felt as if Derby County should have taken away all 3 points. Apart from a defensive lapse early on in the game, Derby County, in my opinion, were the better team, created the better chances, but ultimately weren't able to take them. But I think something's going to flip for Southampton this weekend, and I think they're going to beat Swansea 2-1. I think Swansea have started well this year. There's obviously a lot of work that can be done across the course of this season. There's still, if you include this game, 37 games left to play. So there's a lot of work still to do for all the teams, but I just think Southampton will get the edge on this one. Now, Birmingham, they host Hull City in a 3 p.m. kickoff. And I think that Hull City are going to come away with 3 points. I've just got this feeling that Hull City are going to have a really, really good season. And I know that you probably look at the league table and you look at them in 15th place and you go, well, they've not really had the best start, but ultimately they're still only, I think it's about 3 or 4 points off the playoffs as of right now. And I personally believe Hull City are going to win 3-1 coming out of this Birmingham City fixture. I think Birmingham City haven't had the start to the season that they like. I've got a video coming out about Birmingham City in the next few days, because as much as they are doing okay, I just think they're a little bit above board and a little bit sitting on the high horse. And in my opinion, I do not like it. But you can let me know your thoughts on that when that video drops in a few days' time. We then head on to Charlton hosting Sheffield Wednesday. And I think if you look at Sheffield Wednesday, they've had an unbelievable start to the campaign given the situation that they find themselves in. They've picked up some okay results across the board, ultimately nothing great. And that is the reason why they find themselves still in that relegation zone. But 6 points from their opening games is okay for a team that realistically only has about 12 or 13 senior players. But I think they're going to pick up another point this weekend. As much as I like Charlton, I don't think they're anything special. I think when they came to Pride Park, they scored their goal and then it was literally as if they were defending for their lives for the second 45 minutes. Derby County was shite for the first 45. Do not get me wrong, but I just feel as if it's going to be a game where Sheffield Wednesday are going to be able to get something out of it. And I do think it's going to be a 1-1 result for Charlton and Sheffield Wednesday at Charlton Athletics Ground. Then we go on to the next game, which is Coventry City hosting Blackburn. Now, Coventry City have had an unbelievable start to the campaign. You look at Frank Lampard and what he's done at Coventry. It has been unbelievable. I think if you go back to last season and when Frank Lampard came in, everybody expected him to fail. I'm not turning around and saying that I wasn't a part of that group. I've always felt that Frank Lampard is a good manager, but I've always thought that with Frank Lampard, you get very good attacking football, but very poor defensive football. And I genuinely do believe that he's learned from that over the course of the last few weeks and things like that. Well, I say last few weeks, few months really. He went and spent time at Chelsea, at Everton, and then went back to Chelsea. And now he's at Coventry, and I think they are arguably favourites to go up this year. And in my opinion, they win this game 4-1. I don't think Blackburn have a prayer of getting anything out of this game, if I'm completely honest. Now, that'll probably be clipped and quoted if Blackburn go on and win the game, but I've just got a feeling that Coventry City are going to absolutely demolish them. You can obviously let me know your thoughts on that down below. As with all of these results, I'm really intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. In terms of Norwich and Bristol, I'm going with a 0-0 draw. Just can't see anything coming out of that game, if I'm completely honest. It's one of those games where Norwich and Bristol are both two teams who I think have good squads. I just think they're not quite where they want to be. And I think that's probably down to managerial changes, if I am completely honest with you. Now, I think Sheffield United pick up their first victory of the EFL Championship campaign this weekend. Well, it's not their first victory, is it? It's their second victory. I do apologise. They are on 3 points. They did beat, it was Oxford, wasn't it? Who they beat a few weeks ago. And I think they pick up another victory. I think they beat Watford 1-0. Watford, obviously, over the course of this international break, have changed manager. And I just don't think there was any need, if I'm completely honest. I thought they were doing okay. Picked up some good results recently as well, and they went on to change manager, and I'm not sure why. But I think Sheffield United will come out of this one as 1-0 victors. You then go on to Stoke and Wrexham. Stoke have obviously had a great start to the year. Wrexham have been a bit hit and miss, but I think this is going to be one where Wrexham definitely do hit. I think they're going to win 2-1 at Stoke City. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. I think it's going to be a tough one. And I wouldn't be surprised if it is a late winner, if I'm completely honest. Now, you can obviously let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. And then we've got West Brom and Preston, which I think is going to be very similar to that of Wrexham versus Stoke. And I think it's going to be a 2-1 Preston win. Another 2-1 away win. And I'm just not sure why. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know why. I looked at the game. I've looked at the numbers behind it. I've looked at West Brom. I've looked at Preston. And for some reason, I've just got Preston winning. They've had a great start to the year. They look very, very good. But ultimately, they're nothing special, but they're finding a way to get results. And I think that's exactly what we are going to see this weekend. And you can let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. And to round off the weekend, we've got Leicester City versus Portsmouth. I think Portsmouth win that game 1-0. I've got no issues with Leicester City. Absolutely not at all. They're third in the league. There's no reason why they shouldn't win this game. But I've just got a feeling Pompey will outdo them. And you can let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments if you have not done so already. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. But these are my predictions for round 10 of the EFL Championship. Bye-bye, guys.